Thank you so much, Naledi. As I promised in the last hour that we'll find out about the opportunities that exist for women in mining, as well as the gaps that are there and that perhaps governments need to look at. We've seen more and more women join the mining ranks, whether it's in corporate at the CEO level, but also underground. And there are also a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities for female entrepreneurs to start looking and feeding into that industry. As you said in your intro, Naledi, I'm joined by Advocate Kerusha Pillay, and she's going to let us in on what has been said. They did have a meeting with the European Union earlier this week, and we'll find out what opportunities the European Union have with regards to collaborating with South Africa and as well as women in mining. Advocate Pillay, thank you so much for making time to speak to us at the SABC. You've had that very important meeting with the European Union. What was on the agenda with that meeting?
Hi Liabo, thank you very much for having me. It was a very interesting meeting and something which is critical, dealing with the critical mineral supply in South Africa. Now, in the current climate, we have the energy crisis, and imperative to resolve that crisis is the production of green energy. And in order to do that, there is the mining of critical minerals. So, for example, lithium, iron ore, manganese, etc., which is required for the production of batteries for electric cars. There's also the mining of critical minerals for the production of other aspects of green energy. So there's quite a vast opportunity for women in the mining and energy sector to capitalize on that. With the European Union, they are doing the Africa Maval project, which is a crucial component because it deals specifically with research and development and the production of an ESG framework for investor purposes that speak to issues such as what is the position with women accessing these opportunities? What are the challenges and the gaps that women face? And when it comes to women economic empowerment, the only way that women can be empowered is if they are given access to opportunities in the procurement space.
Let's talk about the ESGs. It's a buzzword, and I know that a lot of finances, they're also looking at more businesses that are ESG compliant. Are we seeing those mostly female-owned businesses, and are we moving swiftly enough to join the rest of the world in terms of being compliant with environment, social, and government structures?
Well, I think we are certainly not moving fast enough, but we have made a considerable amount of progress. The JSE has established a sustainability ESG framework which is being implemented, so that is a good measure. With ESG, I think there is a difference in the materiality of factors that are considered. So the focus quite considerably is on the environmental aspect of ESG. I think there should be a greater focus on the social aspect, which would then encompass women empowerment and the impact. So it's not good enough to just measure what is being done. There also needs to be a proper measurement of the impact, of the monitoring and what is the impact. How are the lives of women changed on a daily basis based on the initiatives that are implemented?
Let's talk about women in leadership roles, particularly in those big and listed JSE mining companies. There is just this general rule that there aren't enough women in top positions, less than 10% of women in JSE listed companies. How do we begin to prepare the pathway for women to occupy those positions, to make meaningful decisions in their capacity as females?
I think that's a very important question. So according to McKinsey's report, globally, the statistics from 2021 demonstrate that there's only 12% of women in the C-suite in mining companies on a global level. And by no means can that be said to be enough. It certainly is good progress. A lot of the listed companies have very good initiatives to groom women to occupy positions in the C-suite. So mentorship initiatives, on women in leadership that can allow them and equip them with the necessary skills so that they can progress. I think importantly also is the change in the culture of the organization, so that women are not just simply allowed to come in. They are actually welcomed in, their voices are heard, and they are provided with access to opportunities, because I think one of the biggest challenges that women face is getting access to opportunities either in the career space for career progression, alternatively in the business space for business development.
Yeah. There's also the issue of remuneration and pay gap between females and males, whether it's underground workers or the ones in the office. Also in the mining space, a big issue. How can we narrow that gap to find a pay equity at some point?
I think, again, Liabo, very interestingly, the National Business Initiative of South Africa has done a series of reports dealing with the gender pay gap. And they have identified that it is quite a prevalent occurrence amongst the various companies that they have surveyed in South Africa. There are various proposals of what are the solutions to narrow the gender pay gap. And I think one of those is that we need to change the narrative so that women are afforded proper opportunities. We need, again, to also change the narrative so that there is the realization of what are the implications of paying a woman far less than a man is paid. Because if a woman is remunerated equally, it allows her to perform better. It gives her the productivity levels go up, and there is a direct relation between the increased productivity and the increase of the profits of the company in that event. Furthermore, Liabo, just to complete answering the question, when we look at paying women equally, we also have to look at how are the implications for the broader community. Because with a lot of women, they don't simply support just themselves. They support their extended family. They support their nieces and nephews, and they give opportunities to other people that are in the community around them, because women are nurturing by nature. And so we always try to assist others. So in paying them unequally, we are depriving not only them, but the broader community of progressing.
Right. Advocate Kerusha Pillay, thank you very much for your time. Now, lady, the one thing I'm picking up here is that while we're making progress in many facets, particularly of the mining industry, we're seeing that technology is going up. The transformation is definitely getting better, but the role of women is not moving as fast as it should be. If we listen to Advocate Kerusha Pillay, she talks about also the pay gap, that it's important that the pay gap gets narrowed and that women are given equal opportunities. It's the same way that men get these equal opportunities and high positions, saying there's globally under 12% of females are occupying leadership positions. And with that, allow me to hand back over in studio as we prepare to take some of the sessions of the Investing in African Mining Indaba 2023.